Hi, I'm Gabby Whithouse. I'm going to show you how I use Popplet to create storyboards when I'm designing a course. So if you go into popplet.com and click on Try It Out, you'll see a demo screen, and here they show you exactly how to use Popplet. So I'll just demonstrate quickly on the left of the screen. You double click in the screen and then you can drag the little popple that appears and you can type inside there. You can change the color of the frame and so on. Do the same thing again, double click, create a new popple, and then you can link your little boxes together, and very quickly you will have a kind of a mind map forming. So it's very simple to learn to use. I'm going to take you into my signed in Popplet where I have created a storyboard already for a course called Online Academic Identity. Don't worry if you can't see all the text on the page. I'm going to zoom in and take you through it, but for now I just want to show you the basic elements. Across the top I've got the weeks, and you can see it's a 5-week course. I'm using black for that row. In green in the next row I've got the learning outcomes for each week. In pink below that I've got the learning activities. In blue I've got the learning resources, and finally I've used orange for assessment or demonstration of learning, which will happen at the very end of the course. So I'm going to zoom in now and I'm going to take you through this storyboard week by week, and I'm going to explain what's going to happen in this course. So in week 1 I've got two learning outcomes. The first one is to know why online identity is important, and the second one is to know how others see you when they look you up online. Then the actual activities I'm doing. The first activity actually doesn't link to my outcomes. It's about familiarizing yourself with the platform, getting to know the other learners and so on, in keeping with Salmon's 5-stage model. So I think I need to create another outcome there. Get started on the course. And then I can link that outcome to the first activities. The other activities in week 1, I'll zoom in a little bit more. The main one is going to be Google yourself and share what you find. That's going to be really interesting, and comment on what other people in the class find when they share their findings. The resources for these activities are going to be possibly things I find on SlideShare or YouTube or blogs and so on. There's quite a lot being written and produced about this topic of online academic identity at the moment. So for now I'm just going to remind myself that's what I want to add when I come to actually developing the course. So let's go up to week 2. And in week 2 we have 2 learning outcomes. The first one is know what social networking tools are available, and the second one is consider the legitimacy of these tools for academic practice. The tools I'm thinking about here are things like Twitter, Google+, LinkedIn and so on, right through to more academic sounding things like open research archives, open educational resource repositories and so on. Some of the participants on the course will be very familiar with these and will have Twitter accounts and so on. For others, they will be brand new to all of this. So I would expect people to be working at different levels here. The ones who are very familiar with these tools to immediately start looking at them more critically and looking for new tools that they haven't used. People who are new to social networking might just restrict themselves to 2 or 3 that they want to explore. In terms of resources, I would look for examples, videos and so on of how all these different social networking tools work for people who need those. I'd also look for examples of academics who themselves have a strong online presence or brand, if you want to call it that, for participants to discuss and be inspired by, or perhaps to say I don't want to do it like that. So develop do's and don'ts from looking at those. Let's move on to week 3. In week 3 I have 2 outcomes here. The first one is about ethics, and the second, oh yeah, 3 outcomes. The second one is about your personal versus professional identities online, and the third one is about privacy and security online. I need to actually put verbs in here to say what the outcome is, what people will be able to do as a result of going through this course. At the moment, these are just kind of almost like bullet points to remind me. These are the aims of this week. So I've got some idea of the activities I'll use for the ethics section, and we'll discuss copyright, we'll discuss plagiarism, we'll talk about what it means to post images, especially if you've got a picture of someone and do need their consent to post it online, all that kind of thing. The resources that we'll use there would be Creative Commons website would be a key one. I don't actually yet have resources for the privacy and security issue, so I'm just going to put a little question mark there to remind myself that I actually need to do that. So let's come to week 4. In week 4, the main outcome, it's the second last week of the course, so we need to be beginning to wrap it all up now. So tell your story, keep it simple and consistent, use visuals. And the activity they would do here would be something like create, or maybe I should just edit that to say create, or update their profiles, about pages, and so on. We'd look at how to use images, voice and video in different ways on profiles. And as resources here, we could look for blogs or resources found by the learners themselves that inspire them in doing this for themselves. And actually I've put a link between that and examples of other academics who have a strong online presence from week 3, because we might be looking at the same resources there or building on a pool of resources from there. So let's move to the final week, week 5. And here the outcomes are: engage in an academic community that inspires you and present yourself with confidence. So what I'm thinking here is, by the end of this course, everybody on the course should be able to go out there, participate actively and proactively online in various communities and so on, and feel confident that if anybody clicks on their profile or looks them up, they will find a positive, robust profile for that person. So I would be thinking the learners would then identify inspiring online communities, maybe groups on LinkedIn and so on, or topics, because communities or networks often develop around topics. So if you edit a Wikipedia page, for example, you might find yourself in conversation with people who have similar interests to you and so on. So being proactive there would be an essential component for that week. This would be supported by readings on the whole concept of a community of practice or a network of practice. And finally, the assessment or demonstration of learning would be in the form of a peer review, where by now we would hope that learners would all have very strong online profiles and a strong online brand. So they would look each other up and give each other feedback on what they find. So I will zoom out again and just give you the complete overview of this course, Storyboard. And there you see how I have used Popplet to storyboard a course on online academic identity. I can use Popplet with colleagues in a team. Everybody can add popples simultaneously. They'll appear on the page while we're all working. And we can come back and keep adding more layers, adding more detail to the activities, the resources, rephrasing the learning outcomes and so on. So it's an iterative process. We would be going backwards and forwards, possibly moving things around from one week to the next and so on. Popplet is a very good tool for all of those things. So I hope that's given you an idea of how to use Popplet for creating a storyboard. Thanks for watching.